growing up, I watched a fair amount of like television, you know? Not crazy amounts, but there would have been like a couple movies that I really enjoyed watching.
You're trying to tell me the FBI is going to pay me to learn to surf?
Tear it all apart. But at the same time, it would have always been more so like at home stuff on TV or renting on Blockbusters.
Come on over to Shinner.
I like movies. I definitely draw inspiration from them. So yeah, I do believe that that's like a semi-accurate portrayal of myself and what I'm into, you know?
Dear only.
Back off, war child, seriously. Thank you.
I can't say like I remember the first time watching it.
It's time for lunch.
Angelo, it's 10:30.
I would have seen it on TV.
Right around that corner, there is a sandwich shop.
I actually recently watched it. It still holds up.
They sell meatball sandwiches. Best I've ever tasted. Would you go get me two?
It still made me laugh, and I got stoked on it.
Come on, partner. Two. Thank you. Utah, give me two.
I recently watched this documentary on Netflix called How to Rob a Bank. Based off a true story, there was a guy up in Seattle called the Hollywood Robber.
Co-star is this 9mm handgun.
Everyone on the floor!
He saw Point Break and got inspired by the whole premise of like Bodie kind of being like Robin Hood.
This was never about money for us. It was about us against the system.
And then I rewatched Point Break. Yeah, I hadn't seen it for a long time, and it's been talked about to the point where I was just like, I'm fucking sick of that thing. I'm over it, you know? Like, give me something else. At that point in time, I must have already like said something in an interview, me liking that movie. When that board graphic came out, I had no idea. I didn't know what it was going to be. Like, I knew I was turning pro. The whole anti-hero team, we went down there to like pick up my first board. And when I saw it, I was just blown away. You know, it was a huge honor for me to receive a professional board graphic. People knew that I liked that movie, and to have it be shined upon. And that scene in the movie is like pretty ridiculous.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Everybody freeze!
Everybody move! Keep your hands up and your eyes down!
I'll tell her, back away from the cars, hands on your head now!
Vaguely, I remember that one. It has the Nixon mask on it. This guy named Cam Coaster found that image. It made sense to use that as a graphic for me.
Hands up!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are the ex-presidents, and we need just a few moments of your time. We've been screwing you for years, so a few more seconds shouldn't matter, now should it? How you doing, Dick?
Just implementing our own personal plan of deregulation, Mr. President.
They're both kind of similar, you know? If I hear something, oftentimes it can take you back to a particular time or place or event or feeling. You heard some song that was big for you when you were a teenager or graduated high school, or in your life, you're like, that meant something to me then. Or it's timeless. Or you're just like, I love that, and it makes me feel a certain way. But I guess movies would be the same thing, coming out in a linear fashion. You're like, okay, this movie came out in 1999, and I remember exactly what I was doing then and when I watched it, and like somebody watched Back to the Future and then they wanted to go get a skateboard or something, you know?
Wow, look at him go!
I think those nods to those references can make you feel a certain way, so you can relate to it more. The Lost Boys is another amazing movie. I don't remember exactly what I would have seen that, probably as a teenager. I'm sure when the movies came out, they were probably a bit more serious. And then when you end up watching something down the line, you pick out some stuff that might be a little bit like cheesy or just kind of ridiculous.
I can't beat your bike. You don't have to beat me, Michael.
just have to try and keep up.
When the guy on the saxophone comes out, the sexy sax man, we would always kind of just joke about it, me and some of my friends. And then obviously that song, Cry Little Sister, it's an epic song. It's rad, and it's specifically like, you know it from that movie, you know? We used some clips from Lost Boys in one of the Boys of Summer video parts that I came out with. When that video was getting edited, Benny was like, I got a song I'm going to use. When he showed me that, I was kind of like, wow, like, that's sick. I don't know that I could really choose that myself. It means a lot. I think it ended up working pretty good, and obviously I was stoked to skate to it. I think people who know that movie know the significance of the song, and if the viewer knows what it was from, I think they could definitely bring that onto it, you know? Working on like a big long thing, filming for years, you're like, well, I have a bunch of footage, but you're just sitting on it waiting for like the whole thing to be finished. But you know, you film for like 6 months to a year, you get a chunk of stuff and you put that out. And then it's like, boom, okay, like that was a video part. And then you can kind of be like, okay, well, like now I don't have any footage, so I'm just going to get back out there and kind of start chipping away. For hockey, when we've made all those little board videos, it's always just been a thing to put some footage out there, maybe some stuff you're not going to use for like the next project you're working on. Make a little something and then push whatever the product is that came out with, you know, new board graphic or whatever. Usually with that, Benny does a good job of showcasing the artwork of the graphic, having a feel of what that is, and then mixing in with the skating and oftentimes some music. If I'm in a good rhythm, you get a chunk of something and you put that out, and then you're like, okay, well, I don't have anything. I got to get back out there and then keep that ball rolling and that momentum going.
Look like an angel.
It can be a very productive looking thing, you know, based off of how it's put out.
Talk like an angel, but I got wise. You're the devil in disguise. Oh, yes, you are. Devil in disguise.
Specifically, like talked about it earlier, some graphics, you see them and you're like, holy crap, that's more special, or that one really stands out. I remember Benny sent me that. It is that Alex Colville painting, and he changed it where he scribed my name into the coffee table. I might be wrong, but I was under the impression that like Michael Mann saw the artwork for that and was like, I need to use this for the movie Heat, you know? Just him looking out the window. Really special to me. And Benny made like a little video. He green screened the back. The guy's looking out at somebody surfing. It's actually me on this trip down in Mexico. And he made that. And I was like, damn, that was pretty cool too. And then, yes, that is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner.
Well, that's an interesting point. What are you, a monk?
I've watched Heat numerous amounts of times.
It's that or we both better go do something else, pal.
I don't know how to do anything else.
Neither do I.
I don't much want to either.
Neither do I.
I like reading. There's a book, Heat 2. There's times when you're reading something that's a chore, and then there's other times when you get into something and it's informal, and then there's other times you read something that you're just like addicted and like infatuated with. I got that book and I read it in one day. I couldn't put the fucking thing down. It's like pre the movie and post the movie. So it's like I already could see all these characters, the names and the faces. Yeah, that book rules.
We want to hurt no one. We're here for the bank's money, not your money. Your money's insured by the federal government. You're not going to lose a dime.
They have this like green Lincoln Continental they're using as the escape car. Years ago, I bought this emerald green Lincoln Continental because I was like, that's the same car from Heat. That was the one that I raffled off.
And you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. I'm not talking about Benjamins. I'm talking about one Benjamin V8 engine. That's 8 engines.
Power 106, where hip-hop lives. This is
De Niro and Heat. Fucking Highwayman.
There's just a list of movies that are timeless classics, and it's a massive list, but GoodFellas is on there as well.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
A friend of mine who was working at FA in hockey at the time, it was his idea to try and remake that button-up, that cardigan. Bringing in a bunch of stuff that I was finding at thrift stores and stuff to kind of get hockey to make some of these cut and sew pieces, things that were a little bit different. And so he was like, we should remake this shirt. He showed me Ray Liotta wearing it, and I was like, damn, that looks awesome. Something at the time that I would have brought in and or wanted to wear.
I was going to be busy all day. I had to drop off some guns at Jimmy's to match some silencers he had gotten.
They got the production made on that. Same guy, my friend Hayden, was like, oh, I want to get this photo of you in your car, recreate that scene of when he's driving and he thinks there's helicopters following him. He's all spun out. At the time I had that big boat of a car, we went out and shot a photo, bought some fake watch because he has one. There's another hockey graphic when he's like a kid, Henry Hill, and he lights something on fire.
13, I was making more money than most of the grown-ups in the neighborhood. I mean, I had more money than I could spend. I had it all. One day, some of the kids from the neighborhood carried my mother's groceries all the way home. You know why? It was out of respect.
Are you the legal guardian of John Connor?
That's right, officer. What's he done now?
T-1000 or whatever? Is that what his name is?
Get down.
I do remember when the AVE Terminator one came out. That was the coolest thing ever. It still is. You know what I mean? It was just like, to my knowledge, I don't think people had made a board like that. Obviously, for it to go from that young picture of Anthony and then to morph into Terminator was so badass, and then also fitting for him because, you know, he is the Terminator. I've heard a lot of people argue about that. That might be like a generational thing, because I know people, maybe when Terminator 1 came out and saw it in the theater, maybe they're like more inclined to saying that that was the better film.
Come with me if you want to live.
Because I know people closer to my age and stuff, like a lot of my friends all say Terminator 2. Try to like take some time away from the internet. Somebody on that day was like, oh dude, David Lynch died, and I was kind of like, really? Like, I was tripping on it.
It might be the kind of show that would be, you know, kind of have a limited run and then would become a classic forever.
That's okay too.
Yeah.
If it has to end, you know, that's all right. But if it doesn't have to end, that's even better.
I think he's not my hero, but like a legendary person that I look up to, and like I pulled a lot of inspiration from. You know what I mean? Bum me out. Twin Peaks is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present.
I fucking love that.
Could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. This.
I had like an interview in the Skateboard Mag. The opening intro shot, I tried to recreate Kyle MacLachlan just sitting in a diner. He has his hair slicked back and he's sitting there with like a piece of pie and a cup of coffee.
Oh, man, that hits the spot. Nothing like a great cup of black coffee.
I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan. Wild at Heart, Blue Velvet, all the things he made. As of recently, like...
Good morning.
Those selfie videos of him talking.
It's February...
Inspirational speeches.
13.
And painting and stuff.
Wall to wall. Beautiful blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way. Everyone... have a great day.
I just thought he was like the coolest dude ever. In the AA for Bands part, I was kind of like, oh, I want to skate to like the Pixies, that Gouge Away song. I thought it'd be good. And I was talking to Benny about it because he edited it. And he was like, what about the song from Eraserhead? That'd be sick. sent that to me, and I was like, well, fuck, could we put them both? Like, they would kind of tie well together. I can't sit here and tell you that there's a huge plan board behind me of how all this stuff's been pre-organized beforehand. Maybe it's just subconsciously in my mind how things have all planned out that way, like how I wanted to go back and skate something that I skated before, or maybe all that's like coming from like a higher place and I don't even realize it. You know?
That's pretty David Lynch. We'll leave it there.
Some of those sitcoms in the 90s that had like a live audience, any of these shows that I watched as a kid, yeah, it was homage to that, if you will. The underlying idea was paying a nod to like skateboard shops and some of the culture that happens at the shop.
Just come on down to Shinner.
That's the best guy you could find?
That's a huge thing. That forming of you in your youth, hanging out with some older people.
Hello. Hey, sir. Can I help you find anything today?
Learning about skating and then other aspects of life and all that kind of stuff. It is relatable.
Did get some new Vans in.
Jared Sherbert wrote out the story of it.
Your Authentic High by Andrew Allen.
That was all his idea. I thought it was pretty funny.
What'll it be, little buddy?
I just showed up, got into character, for lack of a better term.
Great commercial. Saw it on TV earlier and had to come on down.
Vaya con Dios.